What's up, everyone? This is JDM, and today I will be talking to you about how to be the best teammate possible. So one thing that I truly believe is important in order to become the best teammate possible is to be really positive minded, and just having a positive attitude, positive mentality, knowing that you are with your team as a unit, that everyone on the team has the same goals in mind. You're all striving for the same end goal, and in order for that to happen, you got to keep an open mind. Positivity has more of an impact than I think most people really do take in consideration, for being a good teammate. I really think that, especially on LAN, when you're at a tournament and everyone's together, feeding off each other with positivity is always beneficial for a team. If you have a team that is just quiet and doesn't cheer, doesn't hype each other up, it's going to, say for a round that you lose, or it's like a really important round that you need to like reset that next round in order to win the game. Like, if your team is just dead quiet during that time, most of the time you're gonna go in that next round still thinking about what just happened, or you're not gonna have confidence really going into that next round because you have that feeling that your other teammates are feeling the same way. And that's like the key about that too, is that not only is it resetting every round, because it's round by round, you can't think of the previous round of what just happened. You got to make sure that and understand that your teammates, if they're not talking, you kind of have to step up and be a leader and be a good teammate and kind of get your team going as hyping them up, so they do kind of forget about what just happened and that they're confident in this next round that's coming up, because that's what matters, is the next round coming up. That's something that is really helpful, is talking, keeping a positive mindset in each round that happens in the game, out of game, but just like I said, in game, resetting, keeping that positive mindset is going to affect your teammates as well. So if you have a negative mindset and negative attitude, or you don't talk at all, it's going to affect your teammates. They're going to see that, they're going to see something's wrong, or they're going to see that they're gonna maybe feel that you don't have confidence in your team, or you don't have confidence in you or yourself. So there's a lot of things that can go on with just how someone, shows emotions and, that positive mindset and attitude. It can really go far when you are positive like that. Everyone has the same goals and should have the same mindset. And so whether or not sacrificing yourself to die so that you could win the round is important. So, not worrying about stats, not worrying about anything like that, because that doesn't matter. What matters for a team and should be every individual on that team is either a W or an L. All of us are looking to get a W. We're trying to win. So that's what matters, not the score line of who got what happened. Stats don't matter, and they should never matter. And a lot of, I think, young players don't really take in consideration of that, aspect of it. Like, they're so worried about, how many kills they get, or, stats. And I think Reddit, HLTV, all that stuff kind of hypes that up too much. So they feed off of that. But in reality, to be a good teammate and to be on a good team and to work as a unit, like, you cannot think those things. It really just depends on each round by round, of winning that round and trying to get to that 16 game point, or game winning round. Those are the key parts of, I think, being a really good teammate in game. And then out of game, work ethic is important. Communication out of game as well. If you're not friends with your team, and you guys are not a family, and there's a lot of arguing or whatever, and you're just toxic, then it's going to affect in-game as well. So it's just one thing that you need to make sure that you need to keep that open mind, like I was saying, and just realizing, like, when times do get tough, that everyone on the team has the same goals. Nifty brought this up, and it's a really good way to think of things or think of the situation is, when you're talking about something that a round or a play that isn't maybe right or correct in your eyes, when you're talking about it as a team, it's the whole team just relaying and giving data of what should happen or could happen. Different people are going to give different ways and different views of how something should, work. So it's just data being piled up together. And what you do as a team is you go over that data as a team and you talk about what is the best, situation, how are we going to fix this, what is the best way of fixing it. And you don't think of it as like you did this wrong or you're a bad player. You never should have any ideas of that. It should just be, okay, it's okay that you screwed up, or maybe we lost this round because you didn't do something, that we went over, or, you made a mistake. Mistakes happen all the time. It's not a big deal. It's just, you got to understand, you got to stay calm, and you got to talk about it with your team and use that data to come up with something better that's going to benefit the team and maybe affect that certain situation next time you go through it and you end up winning the round. To be a good teammate, it involves in-game and it involves out-of-game as well. Something that can really help is just knowing a lot of utility, how to use utility like flashes to support your teammate in certain situations. If you are a player that doesn't know any flashes or any smokes, you're really limited to helping your teammate. And then also too is a couple other key factors of in-game is one, just communication. Communication is one of the biggest things in this game. It's really essential to winning and succeeding as a team. To being a good teammate, communication is really important. And to be able to talk to your teammate of what you're doing, what can happen. So say if I'm, mid on Mirage window and I get smoked out window, I'm telling my teammates that, hey, I got smoked out window, I'm rotating the tool, they can go con or cat, mid's open. Like, I'm feeding information. I'm making it clear though. I don't want to clutter the mic, but I'm making it clear to my teammates of what is happening in that round. There's a difference between good comms and bad comms and how it can affect your team as a whole in a round. Whether or not if you win that round or lose that round, it could actually just come down to how the communication was in that round. That's why communication is such a key factor in how your team rotates, how your team plays certain situations. If you're not good at communicating and knowing what to communicate, then it's going to affect you guys and your team tremendously. CS is really, you have to react, you have to adapt to what's going on in game and in that round. And without it being communicated from, say, what a player sees and what he hears, if you don't do any of that, then it's going to affect you. You're probably going to lose the round because no one knows what's going on. They can't adapt, they can't react. Communicating is tremendously important in Counter-Strike. And outside of the game, it's really important to calm to your team as well. Always keeping a good communication outside the game. It affects chemistry, it affects friendships. Like, you just want to make sure that you're always talking to your team when you are talking about certain rounds that need to be changed or fixed. You just need to make sure that what I would suggest is, like, if you were to watch a team demo after a match, you want to give it some time so that you can reset yourself. And say you were really frustrated about this certain round and it was a huge round and you lost because of it. You want to really take the time after the match to just calm down and just relax. So then you get level-headed again, and you're going into talking about that round with your team, humble, knowing that everyone is there to win and that has the same goals. So if you were to just go into that conversation and you just, you're criticizing someone or you're arguing with someone, it's not going to help at all. And just knowing that just the way of saying, certain things about how someone should play or whatever, the way that you say things can really matter how someone takes it. You gotta, when you're criticizing someone, it's gotta be in a positive manner. Like maybe instead of saying you did this wrong or whatever, instead of saying something like that, maybe it's like you say it in a way of, you did this part really, really nice. Like you did this correct. Like this is how you're supposed to play this part. Maybe this, when you moved from this position to this position though, maybe it would be better if you flashed here instead. Like something like that. Like you give the idea of what they could do differently instead of saying automatically, hey, you're wrong. You're supposed to be doing this. Like people will get a different read off of what you just said to them like that versus saying, hey, you give them a compliment. You did this fantastically. Like next time, maybe since, you went from this spot to this spot and it didn't work out, maybe doing this differently would help you. Because everyone on the team is trying to do the exact same thing. You all have the same mindset and same goals. You all want to win. So that you gotta keep that in mind. You gotta, stay humble, and you just gotta work together. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you use these tips that I gave you to become a better teammate.